Hello again. This time, what I'd like to look at is something that I've implied that we've talked about a little bit, but I want to make it a bit more explicit, which is that generally, in a substitution type clue, you read from left to right, and the substituted parts of the clue are in the same order in the answer. But very frequently, that order is played with, it's messed around, bits of the clue are shown to appear after the bits of the answer, they come before in the clue, it's all a bit of a mess. So I'll show a couple of examples just to indicate what I mean, because it's very common and it's bits of substitution. I mean, there's 1,000 ways of indicating it, and you just have to keep an open mind, but it's useful to know that the concept itself is out there. So let's have a look at a couple. Sensation produced by grass after payment, 7 letters. Sensation produced by grass after payment. Now, pretty obvious, produced by is your equal sign, going right back to first principles. Sensation equals this, equals the rest of this. Definition over here, wordplay at the other end, dead simple. The trouble you've got is that you might go grass, and you think of words for grass, lots of substitutions for that, types of grass, rye, Bermuda, been watching the golf. After, you might start to think post, ante, stuff like that, where you're starting to think of substitutions for this and substitutions for that. But in this case, it's very simple. Payment, if you eventually get to fee, but grass, there's a type of grass, this is a absolute, I think we covered it in the Natural World episode. It's an absolute crossword standard that there's a type of grass, a type of heather, I think it's a Scottish word for heather, ling. And because the grass comes after payment, you get feeling, sensation, produced by grass, word for grass, after the word for payment. So in that instance, you've taken the words as they were in the clue and reversed them because of this indicator here. That's a really, really simple example, but occasionally it's not entirely clear how much to proceed to flip the parts of the clue. So I'm going to show a slightly more complex example and you'll see what I mean. So this is a long one. President at home with company. Empty liaison forestalled by First Lady, 7 letters. President at home with company. Empty liaison forestalled by First Lady. Now there is an awful lot going on here. So, where should we begin? So, you have to look, as always, for a definition. Let's say you're reasonably sure, one end or the other, so it's either a First Lady or a President. Presidents crop up quite a lot in crosswords, so as soon as you see this, you're thinking maybe this is an actual US President, a proper name, which it is. So then, the reasons you might know that, and the reasons you can start to build on it, are that this, at home, is also a very common crossword trick. Simply the letters IN, in. If you are in, you are at home. See where we're going there? With company, also very commonly CO, so already you've got IN, CO, types of president, names of presidents, you see where this is going. Empty liaison is the L and the N here, and it is all forestalled by First Lady, which is just that L. But I know I went through that very quickly, but what I wanted to get across was it's almost mathematical in the terms about it's where you put the brackets. So you've got sort of at home with company, and then the whole thing, empty liaison in there, and the whole thing forestalled by First Lady. So this jumps right to the start, but it could just as easily have been empty liaison forestalled by First Lady, and a double L, see this L could have only gone to here. So it's a trial and error thing, but just to be aware that the order of parts of the clue can shift in the answer, and it can simply be a matter of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks to work out how far forward you have to move a particular piece. In this case, the whole thing was forestalled by First Lady, by the L. But it could just as easily, as I say, have fallen into any of the other gaps between the component parts. So it's very important to kind of pull out the component parts and then move them around. Sometimes, of course, there could be a word that means at home with company. You could be completely wrong about where you've put the initial sort of sets of brackets. But all I wanted to get across with this one was the order can very easily change. It's not always clear as to exactly where things go. Live by your definition, get your definition, and essentially throw definitions out, see if the component parts fit, then work out what on earth has happened to them on the way from the clue to the answer. So yes, I hope I've totally confused everything in keeping with the theme of the clues, and happy solving.